What's up?
Hey, everybody. So Jason, you got us a special guest for part two of the show tonight. So why don't you make the introductions?
Well, tonight, since we were going to be talking about Kiss Alive 3, a
30th
monster,
anniversary.
monster piece of history, from, of course, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, but with Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer. Just a monster ripper of an album.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not call up my buddy Sam, who has done sound for Kiss, has does sound for Kiss.
Wow.
I don't want to. Can I? I'm gonna just. Can I do a couple? Can I? All right.
Yeah,
So
go
remember the
ahead.
stadium tour that just happened
Yeah.
with Molly Crew and Def Leppard and Poison? Well, if it sounded good, and it fucking did, well, it's because Sam and his crew were running sound for that as well. This guy does sound and recording for some of the most badass people that I can't even begin to tell you. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from 1313 Records, somewhere at his hidden compound at a secret location in the high desert, Mr. Sam Orion Morris.
Right, Sam.
Yeah, it's nice to be here, you guys.
It's great to have you, Sam. Not just because you're a Kiss fan, obviously, but it's great to talk to somebody who's actually worked with the band. What's that like?
It's amazing. The guys are amazing to work with. Takes care of their crew. Different companies that work for Kiss. They just completely take care of everybody. And I just got back from France. Did the Hellfest out there last week. Thursday, Kiss played, and they opened up the opening night for the headliners, and it was amazing.
Nice. And let me ask you, Sam, how did you first get into this business?
Oh, geez, it goes way back. I got out of high school, then I went to I went to Music Institute. My first project, I was the intern at Clown Records in Santa Monica. A guy named Steve Bruno took me under his wing.
Wow.
And my first project was Nikki Sixx, Tracy Guns, Scott Coogan, Bride of Destruction, 2003. Nice. That was my first project.
Wow.
And
hell of an
out of that, kind of became friends with Nikki Sixx, and kind of he took me under his wing as well. And when he went on tour with Brides of Destruction, I became their sound man. When Motley Crue came back together, I went on tour with Motley Crue.
Wow. What a great story.
And then from there, it just went on. And then I ended up getting with Kiss.
Networking and making those connections. Yeah, as a lot of people do. So how big of a Kiss fan are you?
Met. Was the night before a Kiss concert.
Oh, wow.
How big of a Kiss fan? Well, I had two older brothers, way older than I was, and they introduced me to Kiss when I was a kid. So my first concert was Kiss Alive at the Forum, Kiss Alive 2. Cheap Trick opened up for them.
With the staircases?
Yes, with the staircases.
That was the best. I used to play drums to that. I would put the album, open it up, put it on top of the couch. I would steal my brother's record from his room, put it on my mom's record player, which I wasn't allowed to use, and sit there with chopsticks on the pillows to that concert shot of that stage.
Yes.
You saw that?
I was like the guys in Detroit Rock City. I was amazed.
Oh.
So my parents went to Arizona. My mom said, you guys can go, but you can't leave your brother home by himself. So you have to take him.
Wow.
So that was my first show.
Nice. Yeah, my older brother took me to my first rock concerts.
Yeah, and after that, I was
like from seeing that to actually working for the band and actually, getting to know the guys.
Yeah, what's that?
It was like, going from being a fan, that's your first concert experience, and then years later you would go work for the band and interact with the guys you saw up on stage that night.
Oh, that was like when I first saw them and I saw the production, I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then years later, after meeting the bands I grew up listening to and working with them, and my first time working with Kiss, I was like, wow, this is I'm here. This is the band I grew up with.
The biggest production, the hottest band in the world.
The hottest band in the world.
The board. Woo!
You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in the world, Kiss.
You wanted the best, you got the best sound.
And then the token of the band's appreciation, I got one of these as well.
Oh, how cool is that? Wow.
Here I was bragging on my my axe bass, but that came from China, not from Kiss headquarters.
Yeah. And it's also got the let's see what Paul left in the case.
Oh, I know what this is.
So we have a Sharpie, oh shit. Where am I at?
That's all right.
So we got a Sharpie in the case, of course. A tuner. We have Kiss picks. Where's again?
Wow, how cool is that? Yeah.
Kiss picks. You got Gene's picks.
Yeah.
So was this a studio guitar, or did he use that live?
This was right here. It says right here.
Nice. The end of the road. Oh man.
Paul Stanley. Has
end of the road Iceman.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, and Sam, it's one thing, for somebody to say, oh man, we really appreciate all your hard work. We appreciate what you do, but the man said it all right there, giving you that guitar,
Yeah.
At home with you. Well,
yeah, that's not the only one I have. I actually have the stage played Dodger Stadium Washburn that he played on Halloween night.
Yeah.
1998.
Tiger Stadium.
Psycho Circus, right?
Yeah, Psycho. Yeah.
In Los Angeles. Dodger
I was
Stadium.
there. 20th row on the floor. I was there.
Yeah.
I was with somebody that was carrying like chains around a waist or something, right?
Yeah.
And
yes.
They wouldn't let her in with the chains. There was like 3 or 4 of us, and this person had chains around her waist. So like just to be cool or whatever, but so we threw it over the fence and had to climb. One of us had to climb the fence afterwards to go and get it on the way out.
Wow.
And show, and I thought it was bizarre. 60,000 people. You turn your head, and they're all wearing 3D sunglasses.
Yeah, and my good friend Billy Corrigan opened up for them that night.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. I had never seen them play before, and they blew me away.
Yeah, that was a great show. And I don't know, everybody knows the story about after the show, walking down Hollywood Boulevard.
What?
So after the show, they walked down Hollywood Boulevard. Traffic was crazy Halloween night.
I didn't know that, and we stayed up there.
So traffic was crazy. So they're like, let's get out and walk to the hotel. So when they got out of the van, they walked Hollywood Boulevard to the hotel, and everybody was like, yeah, great costume. You guys look just like Kiss.
Oh, wow.
I can relate.
that was the coolest part of them just walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and it's Halloween, so they got the full makeup, and everybody thought
maybe I drove by them on the way back to the hotel, and I don't even know.
So yeah,
so
and
guys,
then
let's talk about. Go ahead, Santa. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh no, I met Jason at his show, and I had free time. I was at a Laughlin the night before the Kiss came on, and these guys, Jason,
yeah.
Kiss Alive.
If you're going to do sound for a big concert like this kind that Sam does, of course they're going to send you out a day or two in advance to go and build the stage, right? Mm-hmm. So he's in town, right? And if in a place like Laughlin, which you could go from one end of the town to the other in like less than 5 minutes, it's probably less than a mile long, and you blink, you're going to miss it. So if a band on the level of a U2 or a Kiss is playing in that town, all the hotels are going to be filled that weekend with fans of that band, because it's in a kind of a remote area in Nevada, so they tend to stay the weekend. So all of the hotels are going to have Kiss fans that weekend. So if you're in a hotel that's not connected to the venue of the concert, how do you keep your Kiss fans from going to another hotel to party the night before the show? Well, you throw a pool party and you hire an awesome Kiss tribute band.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're down there loading in from our little U-Haul trailer, setting our stuff up, getting ready to play. Well, on comes our esteemed friend over here, and he introduces himself. He says, "Hey, I'm here to do the show tomorrow night with Kiss." And turns out I'm here in the hotel, and I saw the sign saying you guys were going to play. Thought I'd come down and say hi. Next thing you know, he's hanging out with us. We're doing our sound check, and we've been friends ever since. And
Wow.
I keep our friendship intact by providing him with the occasional goodies, with the occasional pink box.
Yeah.
Wow.
I provide my friend with pink box, and in return, we have a good friendship.
Yeah. But I asked the band, I said, are you guys going to come to the show? Most of the guys left. I don't remember if you stayed or not.
I know Vinny went, and I know 2 of the guys went to the show.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
maybe 5-10 shows after that. COVID done, everything stopped.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow. Jason Lee, once again, you surprised us. We didn't even know we were going to have our special guest here. This was done by Jason at the last minute, and it made the show that much cooler. So thanks for coming on board here, Sam, tonight at the last minute. We really appreciate it. But let me ask you, talking about Kiss Alive 3 now, the fact that it was released, May 18th, 1993, several years after Kiss Alive 2. It's a new era of the band. They got Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer. And the thing with Kiss Alive 3, they had many songs, from the 80s and the 90s that weren't on Kiss Alive 2. So when the album was initially released, Sam, do you remember what your initial thoughts were?
I study guitar, and when Bruce Kulick was playing, he wasn't playing the Ace Frehley notes, which if you watch videos of him on that tour, he was doing some similar stuff, but most of it was his solos. And I think he was kind of winging it because he hasn't learned the solos yet. Mm. But later on down the line, he started learning the solos, I
think around that time was when he started to make an effort to not be like Ace in terms of style.
Yes.
But to return to the style of playing that Kiss was known for back then, not necessarily playing exactly like Ace, like some players might do, or being a tribute kind of a thing, but returning to that, just plug in and play and let it burn, and more open chords and more just bluesy playing and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I think a good example of that was how he played on Revenge, which was the tour for this that this show was at.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a real return to form for the band as well. I think that's why the sound of the album was great. I think Bob Ezrin, right? Didn't he?
Eddie Kramer,
excuse me. That's why. Yeah. Anytime, the guy that did a lot, Kiss Alive, Yeah. But I loved Eric Singer's drum tones on that album. It's ridiculous. Heavy, but tight. Big and fat, but tight. And it's a hard thing to do. Stan will tell you. It's hard to get something that's fat without being muddy. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Now, Stan, as a sound man, I got to ask you, because I was reading stuff up on, Kiss Alive 1, how they touch stuff up in the studio, and a lot of that has to do with, like Gene and Paul, when they sing, they're banging the mics and stuff. Have you ever had to record like a band when they were recording a live album live on stage, and how tricky is that?
Oh yeah, I've done Smashing Pumpkins, I've done Jane's Addiction. I've redid. I mean, I do have on my Facebook and Instagram a before and after. Before you hear it raw, and then you hear how I edit it afterward. It's still the same song, but it's clearer, cleaner. And the same with Kiss. Their sound is it has to be edited and stuff like that. But it's fun working with them.
Yeah, and I still say to people that have a problem with they went back and fixed whatever. I mean, to me, even if they did, it's a great enough live out. I mean, I listen to that and it feels like I was in the audience, you know, and I kind of got the feeling I was there that night, even though I wasn't. And
Let's put it this way: when we're listening to a live album, right? Like, let's say we're in the car, right?
yeah,
Are you at the show?
no,
No, you're not. Okay, so if you're not at the show, then how can you expect the album to be anything more than an album, regardless of what studio or building it was recorded in? It's the band playing the music. So if they overdub it later, it doesn't matter. What matters is when you listen to that album, does it sound like you're at a Kiss concert?
Yeah.
And the answer is, oh, hell yes, it is.
Yeah, and here's what I say to that too. For years, we didn't know any of this stuff, and people loved the album. Only once, you know, the little secrets are revealed, do people, oh yeah, I could tell, no, get out of here. You
I
know?
never cared. I never cared. Never cared.
And let me ask,
who cares? I mean, the amount of bombs.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, Sam. I mean, with all the percussion and stuff that they have, to record that live would be murder, because as soon as you set the microphones to the music level, when one of those big, huge bombs go off, it blows the level out. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everything's got to be balanced. Everything's got to be
do that.
The crowd has microphones, you know, everybody has microphones. So everything has to be balanced on a live show and a live recording as well.
And that's almost impossible when you have that kind of an incendiary stage show. You would have to fix some stuff later, you know?
And let me ask you guys, while we're on the subject of Mr. Bruce Kulick, what did you think of the Star Spangled version they did on Alive 3?
I like that version. And if you watch the video, the concussion bomb was so loud. If you watch the video of it, you can see Paul's neck go. It was so loud. I mean, but yeah, I like that version.
Bruce Kulick was such an underrated and really, I mean, deserves way more credit than he got for his part in history. I mean, because he seems like, from a fan perspective, you know, from a guy that's never met him, he seems like a really like humble guy. You know, he's not out there trying to wank you off. He's just trying to make the music sound great. And aren't we all having fun? And that's how it should be, you know, that kind of thing. And that was my Kiss guitar player. My first show when I first saw Kiss was on the
Asylum.
Yeah, on the Animalized tour, when it wasn't supposed to be him, it was supposed to be Mark St. John. So they weren't really promoting him as being the guitar player on that tour, even though he was playing every night.
Yeah, I remember people.
I saw them.
I remember people being confused about who the guitar player was, because like you go to the tour and they had like a tour book with
Mark,
you know, Bruce, but then they had pictures of press photos with Mark St. John.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I love the way that they were playing on this album. And I think, to be honest, it had a lot to do, as far as Kiss Alive 3, as much as I love and grew up on Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick, which as a drummer, I know that, yes, we have a relationship that's unique with the bass player, usually in the right circumstances, you should be as a drummer, but each one in the band has a unique relationship and it affects the chemistry.
Sure.
And I think just with that one change in personnel, when they got Eric Singer in the band, I think the totality of it brought them to something that was just so much cooler. You know, the Revenge album and then this as a live album was as great as the Eric Carr lineup was. Yeah. This just took it to a whole nother level. It really was, because I was a big fan of Badlands, and I loved when Eric Singer got into this band.
And in fact, you know, as funny as this may be to kind of remember, you guys may not remember when Eric Singer first joined the band, there was a joke about, well, I don't know if he can join the band because he doesn't have black hair. But then his drumming was so good that they just said, you know what, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but they also made a point of, well, especially you had to when you were wearing the makeup, but they made a point of you always shaved, even when there was out of makeup. And then that was the year that Gene started sporting a goatee.
Yeah.
And Paul started dropping F-bombs in the shows.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing about Alive 3, you guys, is if you remember, because it's been so many years since Alive 2. Wow, Snoop Dogg. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been so many years since Alive 2 that we've been hearing rumblings. Oh, Alive 3 is coming next. It's going to be the next album. And then finally 1993 comes out, and people are so excited, not because it's the first live album in years, but it had a lot of the stuff we grew up like in the 80s. I Love It Loud, Tears Are Falling, Creatures of the Night, God Gave Rock. It had a lot of the stuff they had done. Look It Up, Heaven's on Fire, what they had done since the last live album.
I love the way they play War Machine. Oh man. I mean, I'm a big fan. The way I obviously, I play in my Kiss tribute. The way we play War Machine is the way they did it with Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick in the band. But my favorite version to listen to is with Eric Singer on drums, like the version that they were doing from this tour. Just insane. I like the way he hits his cymbals in the middle of the songs and stuff.
Sure.
I'm starting to geek out a little bit, but dude, there's so many great songs on this album. Let's go to the track listing. I mean, it's ridiculous how good this stuff is.
You've got you take that, Jason.
I Still Love You. God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Creatures of the Night, which is what they open with, right? Detroit Rock City, Unholy, Forever, I Love It Loud, I Was Made for Loving You, I Just Wanna, Watching. Their version of Watching You from this was just incendiary. And like Sam was saying, he's not trying to play like Ace, even though they did around that time. Like I said, it was a return to form in terms of the overall structure of the playing style. He was always and still always did his own thing. He paid respect, and you could tell in his playing, he had respect and reverence for the original composition. Sure. And he wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, but he was trying to be respectful by also not just doing exactly what Ace had done.
And I think that's a huge reason. If you've ever heard Bruce Kulick talk, him and Ace apparently are really good friends. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that that Bruce has always respected what Ace did before him,
Absolutely. Lick It Up, of course, Rock and Roll All Night, right? But Domino, Heaven's on Fire. I mean, just really, really great songs. Jason, Forever. What's your favorite song on Kiss Alive 3? Both of you guys.
Let me think about
because for me, I gotta say,
my favorite is Creatures of the Night, the opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
The drumming.
The drumming.
What a great, resume as far as drummers go, man, for Eric Singer. I mean, Badlands with Jakey Lee, right? Black Sabbath.
Alice Cooper.
Iommi, the guy played Alice Cooper. Kiss. Is there anything that guy won't do? He's awesome.
Yeah, on that tour, I don't know. Well, I put this out there.
I know what you're gonna say. You stumped me with this.
Yes. Let me stump him.
Okay.
Oh wait, I can't now because I just blew it.
I got a way to do it. Okay, this tour had something very unique about it, Jason, that only happened 2 times in Kiss history. 2 times. This tour and one other tour where this particular situation happened, or in a manner of speaking, didn't happen. There was something missing from the tour. What was it?
Solos.
Nope. The logo. There was one of the only 2 times, right, Sam?
Yeah.
One of the only 2 times that they did the Kiss stage show without the Kiss sign in the background. What was the other one, Sam? Because I still don't remember.
Hot in the Shade.
Ah, yes. That was
the Sphinx. The Sphinx.
Statue of Liberty or the Sphinx?
Yeah, they had the Sphinx.
Yeah.
The Kiss Alive 3 was the Statue of Liberty, and the Hot in the Shade was the Sphinx, the big Sphinx.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, probably a lot of us don't even remember that, but then it makes sense because you think, okay, how the hell are they going to get the Kiss sign on the stage behind, those big stages? I mean, just no way possible. Yeah. And do you guys remember something else they did on the Revenge tour in reference to the song Take It Off?
Yeah, the strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say I'm a method actor, okay? Yeah. But, when I started Kissed Alive, I wanted to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
And knowing that Kiss did that a couple times, I thought, well, when we had our first Kiss tribute show back in April 2012 at a little club in San Diego called Brick by Brick. Actually, it wasn't my idea. I can't take credit for it, but we brought out four, at least two of them, I think, were from local strip clubs. I think the other two were just friends of whichever guy in the band who came up with the damn idea in the first place. I think it might have been the bass player or the guitar player. But and each one of them was dressed in corresponding. Like there was a Catwoman, there was a
Wow, cool.
and we brought them out when we did the disco. When we did I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember at the time, they also put out a companion home video called Kiss Confidential, I believe it was. And they had they had live videos of each of these tracks that were on the album, like a corresponding video. And I remember Gene talking about the strippers and that they used on Take It Off. And there was this one that they called the Crusher, where like a beer can between her bosom and
oh, hail the Crusher!
Only at a Kiss show, right?
Yeah.
Death from the Head Crusher.
The Crusher.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree. Creatures of the Night is one badass tune, and it's a great way to open that tour and the kind of band that they were around then. They were playing it faster, it was heavier. Watching You, I think, was probably mine.
Yeah. And you guys remember, talk about the Star Spangled Banner, that they would perform that on that tour where Gene and Paul and I think Bruce would come out and they'd kind of play it together. That was a cool part of the show, because again, they didn't typically do stuff like that. Or
it wasn't just like a guitar solo; it was an instrumental version of the song.
Yeah,
and they were indeed all playing. It was great
with actual pyrotechnics.
Yes, exactly. The bombs bursting in air were actually bursting in air.
Yeah. Oh, they were so loud.
Sam, I want to ask you to tell our friends here something you told me about when I don't know if it was at the beginning of the End of the Road tour or before that or whatever, but something about you had to travel to Dodger Stadium to test out some new things. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, tell Jason what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, before the End of the Road tour, I had to go to Dodger Stadium, and the company was testing out pyrotechnics from England, and they're called FFX pyrotechnics, and they're testing out these big old flame pots, and it was insane, it was you could feel the heat from these,
Wow. Yeah.
So when nobody knew about the stage, if you watch the tour now, you got flames that come all the way behind, and you got flames that come like towards Eric and then shoot up.
Oh wow!
And then they shoot out towards the audience, and you can see
how much of that is cold spark.
What's that?
How much of that is cold spark? Is any of that cold spark?
What is?
Like it looks like sparks and flames, but it won't burn the stuff. Like they used it in a bar the other night, and it looked like it is. It's like sparks.
Oh no, these were actually propane.
Oh wow,
nice.
Yeah. These were propane assist, but they do have sparklers as well. But
you got a pretty good gig there, buddy. Hey, what are you doing today? Hey, I'm going to go in Dodger Stadium and play with some fireworks and some pyro. We're going to set some things on fire and explode some things.
Oh, when I heard that, I was down there. I wanted to see what was going on,
Oh, yeah.
And now if you watch the tour, War Machine, that's when they use those huge pyrotechnics on that song. If you go to my Instagram, 1313 Bad Boys with a Z, you could see my videos from the side of the stage, front of the stage, right next to Eric's drum kit, where you can see the flames, how big they are.
Wow. That's amazing. So Sam, let me ask you, when the band is like on the End of a Road tour here, like, do you just do a sound like for the US tour? Do you get to go tour other parts of the world with them?
I was actually going full time, but I have some other gigs, so I had
Sure.
to step aside and have my crew go. But I did go to Hellfest in France,
Wow.
and I wasn't planning on doing it, but I was requested I needed to go, so I went.
Well, that's pretty good. Like when Kiss is requesting, no, we want Sam. He's got to be our guy. You know.
And
Well, yeah,
Motley Crue was there as well, were they not?
yeah, they were there, and it was kind of awkward.
Team Mick.
Yeah, I had real quick. I was on the stadium tour, and then when Mick Mars left, I had left as well. So
Wow.
it was uncomfortable. You know, just a different thing. But back to Kiss.
Well, hey, you know what? One more thing about Motley Crue, though, I can't wait for that. I heard that Mick Mars is recording a solo album. Bertie told me, and I would.
He's got a solo album. He's got John Corabi's son on drums, and he's got the bass player from Accept playing bass.
Wow, and would that be Peter Bells?
What's that?
Peter Bells?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Wow. I heard he's got the singer named Jacob that used to play with Steven Adler.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Isn't Peter playing with Udo now?
I'm not really supposed to be, letting this information out.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Go back to Kiss.
Yes. Yeah. And so let me ask you, you talked about, the safety and, trying all these things out beforehand. I'm sure that's a real important part of the job is, safety. Have you ever experienced anybody getting injured?
Not injured. I had a crew member get injured, which he got his hand caught in a chain.
Wow.
And his hand got split in half. But that was at Rockville last year. Not last year, but the year before. Yeah. They had played Rockville. For some reason, somebody was not radioing, and when they were lifting the lights, his hand was in the chain, and it just got caught in the chain.
Oh, man, that's brutal. But when you're talking about the pyro stuff and going flying and stuff, it kind of you could feel the heat that is so hot. Kind of remind me of when James Hetfield kind of burnt his hand and he had that injury. Yeah.
We have all kinds of tape, fluorescent tape that says do not, red tape that says do not go past this. It's all marked. And the production rehearsals, we have to do full production rehearsals with the band, so they know the cues of most of the stuff is behind the drums, on the side of the drums. Nothing is on the stage, like in front, nothing like that.
Wow, I really enjoyed doing this tonight, guys. Sam, let's keep in touch, and maybe we could have you back on a future show because we're always doing this, and you're the second guest we've had on in the history of this show. So this little interview we just did will be probably getting posted the next week. So I'm sure Jason will let you know once it goes up. And thanks for doing this, and Jason, thanks for making the show that much more special by bringing Sam on tonight.
Always a pleasure, Jason. And, of course, my gratuitous plug segment before we go, right?
Yeah.
This Sunday, it will have aired by then.
Yeah.
And then they can see it on the website. Yeah. There'll be links to it on facebook.com/KissTheLive. We're going to be doing an interview on Good Morning San Diego this Sunday morning to promote our headlining concert at Sycuan Casino out in El Cajon, California, on actually my birthday, August 4th.
Happy birthday!
Everybody out there, go buy tickets, and I want to see you guys at Sycuan Casino on August 4th. August 4th at Sycuan Casino.
It's coming up, so don't forget, Kiss Alive, Southern California's premier Kiss tribute.
Yeah.
Sam, thanks for joining us, buddy. We really appreciate it, man.
Take care.
It was good good being there, and
I owe you some more Pink Box, buddy.
I
had just woken up because I had lack of sleep, so
Well, I tell you, great participation tonight. You cannot not tell by the way you look or talk.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye.
All right. We'll see you.